Sir, this folder is empty. To rob me is one thing, but I never expected you to lie.
Dude, relax, okay? I've got the info you need. I just need help with a little more community service. Oh, I'm totally evil.
Oh, I should know better than to trust that demented chuckle. But okay.
But okay, my moral scruples are astoundingly low, and I cannot do an Indian accent without sounding utterly stereotypical. And that's why I don't work on The Simpsons. Anymore. Or at all, really. But yes, anyway, this is pretty much as close to Grand Theft Auto as the game is ever really going to get without actually being guitar. Although I'm pretty sure Grand Theft Auto 3 did have a mission similar to this, where in order to help out with Snake's community service, we pretty much need to take out an armored car which has money. Funny, I seem to recall a similar mission in Grand Theft Auto 3 when you were working for, I think it was Joey Leone, and you pretty much had, is it Leone or Leone? Yeah, whatever. You were pretty much just knocking off an armored car, pretty much taking it back to his hideout, and getting some sweet coins. Also, I mean, to go off slightly off tangent to Grand Theft Auto 3 for a second. You know what, I might save that for a potential Grand Theft Auto 3 commentary, because I don't know whether it's just the Simpsons Hit and Run, but I've kind of been getting in the mood for it, really. But yeah, the armored car is actually one of the more, I mean, it's one of the more difficult vehicles to damage, obviously, because it is armored. It's designed to stop fucking criminals from, going after it, although, yeah, just do a lot of the advice I said before, just try and veer it off, use your police action camera tactics, and, should be good if you veer it into collisions rather than damaging the car itself, because, yeah, it's Snake's little bandit. Well, again, it's a pretty sleek model, handling's a little bit, loosey-goosey, but, yeah, put her rough around the edges a little bit too much, and then Snake would be like, "Oh, dude, little bandit, she's in pain! She needs premium, dude! Premium! Dude!" Yeah, but anyway, that reference aside, just... yeah, you gotta be careful, and this is also a vehicle that you do have to use for the mission, so, yeah, to make sure there's a wrench around, or just, veer it off into collision detection. I mean, collision detection, veer it off into collision courses. Yes, I can English word good, which mean me do commentary now. Yeah, well. But yeah, not too much longer for it left to go, and we are pretty much done, and I forgot my previous tangent. Thank nominee. Yeah, but anyway, Snake's hideout is, I'm talking downtown! And, kind of odd the police haven't tracked him down. But, well... we see the sights, look at the tea factory, and the fireworks factory. When are they gonna get to the fireworks factory? Ho 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 ho. And of course there's a flaming Moe's, there's city streets, more city streets. Personally, I just would have gone into Moe's for a beer, to be honest. Oh well, oh no, we're in here, and oh yes, a car wash. They actually do hide a wrench in there, so it's like you're getting your car cleaned and repairing it. All at the same time. It's kind of wonderful like that.
If you do not tell me who owns the cola trucks, then I will be forced to use profanity.
Okay, okay, don't go nuts. Look, the cola trucks are registered to the museum.
The museum? What? Each level of this adventure is more exciting than the last. I am the greatest driver in all the land.
So yeah, that's pretty much all she wrote. We do have one final mission in the game, which is pretty much talking to Bart, but before we do any of that, I think it's time we took in the sights of downtown Springfield one last time. Driving around in Mr. Plow. What's its name again? It's Mr. Plow. And yeah, for this specific area of town, specifically around like the car wash and the gentleman's area, similar to the place where you go up here and find out that the Malk operations have been discontinued. Yeah, they also play like a really snazzy theme around this point. It's only really around the Gentleman's Legitimate Business Club, which, a bit of an old musical piece. I guess maybe they intended it to be there for maybe some mobster missions, but I suppose maybe they couldn't get Fat Tony back for it, but it is quite odd, because, I mean, if you remember the previous part, we did see Louis, technically there, so, I mean, he was obviously there because they had Dan Castellaneta who voices him, but it's kind of odd that they don't really have any Mafia-related missions. I mean, you would have thought this being close enough to the realm of Grand Theft Auto that they would have, you know, tried to get a little piece of that pie. I mean, especially given how heavily, you know, the whole sort of the Godfather and Sopranos influences were in a... well, I mean, the at the time released Grand Theft Auto 3 and Vice City. Well, I mean, to some extent, really, apart from the whole sort of Miami Vice sort of whatever thing going on. By the way, interesting thing to point out with the crates and the vending machines. By the way, if you destroy them, like, right now, then the crates are pretty much gone for good. But a little exploit you can actually use to sort of mine them for infinite money is, pretty much kick these, vending machines and crates twice, exit out, restart your save file, and then you can pretty much continue to collect infinite money if you just kick it
Fathering
twice.
8 children has really hurt my stamina.
Yes.
Hello, little customer. Are you here to help me in some fashion?
Your nachos have hair in them.
The hair is your protein.
Okay. Well, you have to race now.
Oh, Millhouse, you're very easily sated. Probably because of all that Vaseline on toast you've been eating.
2, 1.
Anyway, now we're getting up to the races, and I'm remembering in the original commentary that I did of this game, it was around about this point that I actually ended up getting supremely drunk. I managed sobriety from, I think it was from Lisa's mission up until like the first part of Apu's mission, and then when I got to this part, I was, whew, there was a few bottles of whiskey laying around me, let me say that much. But yeah, the point is that pretty much from this point onwards, up until the final mission, I was pretty much just drinking booze by the bottle, and I was just but regardless, though, since we have a long, lengthy race thing to do, I think it's about time we finally get into the meat and potatoes of this, with the development troubles from Radical Entertainment while developing The Simpsons Hit and or Run. Yeah, again, it pretty much began as early as Radical first got the concept of the game and started retooling it from a Simpsons Road Rage sequel to a Grand Theft Auto style game. They pitched the retool to Fox with a 16-month development cycle before they even had a playable build of the game, all in a bid to get the Simpsons license to begin with, and I suppose Grand Theft Auto, even if you were a non-video gamer back in the day, that was still pretty big news for a lot of the controversy and, you know, just how popular that game really was, so yeah, I'd imagine that was probably enough to win Fox over, just do a Simpsons version of that, and I suppose to maybe lighten the tone a little bit compared to what your typical Grand Theft Auto game would have usually had. But anyway, what resulted from that was pretty much severe corner cutting, like, you know, fade wipes in lieu of entry and exit animations, which, again, you don't usually see with the main vehicles that you have. It's only really when you're hitching a ride with other people. You'll either see the characters sort of fade in and out as opposed to, you know, opening the door, jumping in and doing all that. But yeah, there were also cut gameplay elements, the food and turbo meter that I mentioned earlier, as well as levels actually being reduced from a much larger size than they would have been, so potentially, with this city level right here, we easily could have seen like a much larger area of that. I do believe there was also a larger, like, Evergreen Terrace level planned at one point, but yeah, we don't get to see the upper side of town, it's just, you know, pretty much what we have in the final build. And of course, you know, obviously a few cars were taken out of the game, and, yeah, this, the Hit and Run was pretty much being tweaked and altered right up until its day of release, so Radical Entertainment, say what you will about them, but I mean, they were fucking working hard at this stage just to get the game even fucking playable. And bear in mind, this is 2003, like, I mean, there's no, fuck it, we'll patch it later solution, so this was done during a time where your game either needed to be attached to an established franchise and just skimp out on the quality, like they could have easily done, or it just had to, you know, not suck and actually be good. For the love of God, Johnny, be good. So yeah, that was pretty much the story of how Radical Entertainment saved what could have been a potential Chernobyl game into a mere 3 Mile Island, which, again, props to Radical Entertainment. The game, I do feel, could have been a little bit better than what it could have been, but given the time frame they had to work with, they do earn my respect, but yeah, it's just, Christ, it just makes me saddened that we never really got a Hit and Run sequel, but I don't know, I guess them's the breaks, that's what you get for trusting EA. I mean, this game has never trusted Snake, but most video gamers have a policy of never trusting EA, unless of course you're into, well, sports games, I guess. Do EA do sports games very well? I've never actually played any of them to really know. I mean, I know they update the rosters and everything, but like in terms of sheer gameplay mechanics, is there anything more to that, or is it just a genre played purely by people who just want to line up their favourite players from like their favourite football or soccer or whatever kind of games and just play with the insert current year lineup of players? I don't know, it might be worth looking into one of these days just for sheer curiosity's sake, because I mean, they have pretty much been releasing these for about as long as video games have been a thing, really, in terms of sports games. And I mean, come kind of fittingly enough, it was actually parodied in the Simpsons game where you had football players attempting to attack you, because I guess since EA had the license to, sports games and whatever, fuck it, throw it in there, and it's a little meta commentary plot about video games gone by. Well, they predicted that the next Xbox console will be the Xbox 720, and not the Xbox One, because Xbox One will be the center of your world, or some such bullshit. And not just a confusing means of, people having to differentiate in conversation, the original Xbox as opposed to the Xbox One, the console, not the Xbox One, the original console that was launched in 2001. Oh, Microsoft, what do you like, you crazy bastards?
Hey, aren't you the boy who nearly drowned in the nacho cheese?
I was in the newspaper.
Oh, Ralph, your life is an ever-spiraling, unknowing life of pain and misery and miscalculus. But anyway, this is pretty much our race-off against our next character, which is going to be Bart. So yeah, it's racing Bart, and although he's not riding his little go-kart thing that he was in the earlier levels, no, instead he has a sports car. I remember the joke was that apparently Bart got a license to drive, but I'm trying to and there was an episode where he drove a Ferrari as well, but I'm trying to remember what episode that was. I think it might have been the episode where he was adopted by Mr. Burns, or I can't quite remember what the rest of the episode was. It might have just been a one-episode gag thing that they adapted into the game, but I know, it's kind of weird. Like, I mean, they had the license for Ferrari, but not for fucking Pontiac for the Firebird or whatever, or even the basic ass Simpsons sedan, which, I mean, what fucking company owns that little fucking shit heap, man? Like, I mean, I thought the show joked that it was meant to be made by some Russian company that doesn't exist anymore. And I mean, again, unless of course that's meant to actually be true, then is it tied up in some sort of like copyright legalese kind of thing for motoring patents or whatever? I don't really know what to say. All I really have to think about now is just drinking a Buzz Cola and driving around in the Homer. Well, let's just take in the city sights as we traverse one last time around this fair, feathered land of industrial places and shopping marts and pubs and burger joints.
Good out there. Is there a Mrs. Nahasapasapata whatever?
Well, that's the end of this mission, and no longer will we ever have to be bothered by those hobgoblins. Well, until the next two videos anyway, but it's neither here nor there in this case. Oh, look, it's Professor Frinky.
Excuse me, nice Mr. Shopkeeper person. Have you seen a hovering death machine?
No, nothing specifically of the hovering kind, no.
Oh, this was to be my greatest invention since sideburns in a can. They make you handsome and lovely.
What are you talking about?
I call it the hover car, TM, so don't try to steal the name, it's TM'd. I installed the onboard computer, and it came alive and attacked my person. For the love of all that's gliding, you gotta help me here.
Okay, what on earth can I do?
Knock the fleshriggin' thing off the road before the authorities come and take me away again. Prisons ain't kind to pencil-neck geeks like myself. They stomp and they kick.
So now we're teaming up with a Professor Frink, with the kinkiness and the inventions and the Gahoivan Maven and the Jerry Lewis thing. Vote Quimby. But yeah, we're also pretty much going on a chase mission to destroy the hovercar, which is much faster, has much better stats, and you do get the hovercar when you finally defeat the thing, but its stats are nowhere near as good as the AI is making it look right here, which, yeah, kind of disappointed me when I first played the game, so yeah, it also has the habit of going invisible, so yeah, it's a little bit disappointing when it goes at top speed, so whatever, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, its toughness stats is also, I mean, when you're driving the vehicle for yourself, its toughness is actually surprisingly weak, so the fact that it's taken so much punishment is, I don't know, kind of a bit bullshit. I would have saved this for potentially, like, maybe a level 4 car as, like, a reward, but yeah, I don't know, it's kind of disappointing when you finally get to drive the thing. I mean, you can take it out no problem flat if you know what you're doing and you have a tough enough car. It's, I mean, just the reward, I mean, unless you're going for the full-on 100% kind of thing, it's just, eh. Oh well, that killed a couple of seconds and we get to talk to Kinky Frinky over there, so concluding mission go now.
Great work, my Hindu friend.
Ugh, do not patronize my faith, okay?
Sorry, terribly sorry. Look, if you need a ride, instant message my Cortex, by which I mean, call me.
Thank you all for coming. I'll see you in hell.
Glide away.
Oh, Mr. Bart, I have discovered that the evil cola is being made in the Springfield Museum.
But that closes in 5 minutes.
And my car is out of gas.
Just fill it up at the Quickie Mart.
At those prices? No way.
Fine, we'll take my car.
Now, this is pretty much a fairly simplified mission, albeit with a very tight time limit, as you can no doubt tell here. So, yeah, in the game, she be ramping up quite fiercely, but, yeah, you also do get at the... It's either a level 1 reward... No, that might be the Electoris. I don't know, it's a reward for one of the, racing missions where you get the Curator's car. Might even be this level, actually, but... Yeah, whatever. Get to the museum, race a Curator. I think you pretty much need to bash him up, take his museum key, and then, you know, get to the museum to watch the final cutscene. And, before we go, let me sing a song for one last time. Dun 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 dun. No. On a serious note, though, much like with the Trochosaurus that was initially meant to have a boss fight, yeah, the upcoming creature that we're going to be seeing in the next cutscene, that was also initially going to have a boss fight, but, yeah, cut due to time constraints, as I mentioned, with the development cycle, so, yeah, that's kind of shite. And they actually did pick that up in some of the PR discs, so that must have been pretty disappointing for a lot of the game reviewers who thought that they were going to be fighting a giant cola-infested dinosaur skeleton, but, yeah, those are breaks, I suppose. Yeah, the time limit for getting back to the museum is a lot more generous than I remember. Yeah, well, so, yeah, on that note, I am Solidus-Skully, keep it new metal, and next time on the Simpsons Hidden Run commentary, well, we're gonna be playing as Bart. Catch you dudes and dudettes next time, and I'll see you later.
I never thought I'd say this, but I'm actually excited to be going to a museum.
Shiva H. Vishnu! The cola is dripping from that meteor!
Ooh, free deadly cola.
We did it! We destroyed a priceless archaeological artifact! Oh.
What we? I did all the driving.
Now let's find out who's behind all this strange cola business.
I know it's a cliche, but... Ay, caramba!
Kodos, look at these space ratings for foolish Earthlings.
What happened, Kang? Foolish Earthlings used to be the #1 reality show in the galaxy. Space viewers couldn't get enough of these humans and their behavior.
Our show is down in all key demos.
But our show concept was so perfect. We filmed these idiotic bipeds with hidden cameras and beam it into every television in the galaxy.
Cover your knockers!
These aliens have been secretly filming an intergalactic reality show in Springfield.
I knew there was a simple explanation.
I'm going to introduce the evil cola into the water supply. People will go mad.
I like it.
Then we distribute laser guns at the Squidport tourist area.
I like it.
The cola-maddened humans will go berserk,
I like it.
destroying themselves and their town.
Delivering big space ratings for foolish Earthlings.
We've got to prevent the aliens from putting laser guns in the hands of cola-drunk townspeople.
Why? That sounds hilarious. I'd watch that show.
I tell you what, you're a bad little boy.